Honorable Nyeko.
Of measures upwards, and now from private to a captain. I don't think if it was in the wisdom of Parliament that it should be done in phased manner. So I want the Minister to put it categorically clear that for us here we said we enhance the salaries from a private to a captain. Where did the idea of the phased come?
Thank you. Honorable Nyeko.
In their presentation that it has a downfall of 14.9 billion. And we have extended our operations in areas that were not presented before, including those areas that are being occupied by the M23. How are you operating and how many officers are we having on ground? Do they have enough resources? Do they have boots? And we seek more clarifications on our men in uniform that are in these areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Nyeko. Honorable Sevikari.
To page 23
of the presentation.
With the presentation, there is some construction of house units and in Buya joined headquarters. Honorable Chair, I would like to know how much does each unit, if they are 700 and they need 20, sorry, it is page 14 and 16, but they need 23 billion, I think. No? Am I right? Go to page where there is construction, I think it is page, yes. I would like to know how much each unit costs, and if there is any construction of Mbuya joint headquarters, how much, so that we can know if, because they are saying across the country, and you know the cost of each unit differs from region to another. How did they, come to that figure?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Then two, Honorable Chair, in relation to what Honorable Nyeko said, talked about Operation Suja. Honorable Chair, I would like to know, as members of the committee, a long-term procedure for this issue. When shall we end, that operation? Because are we going to remain at war for all the time? In relation, even Karamoja itself, we are in NRM government that has existed for quite a long time, and Karamoja is a small part of Uganda. But how can we bring Karamoja to sanity in a long term?
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable.
According to the accounting officer, is happening with this animal called Uzima. Year in, year
this
out.
Animal, this?
Yes, because it is year in, year out, it is swallowing. We are injecting. For it is always in losses. What is the problem? Because we are injecting, other companies are running the same project smoothly and they are not at the low capacity like Uzima. But year in, year out, we are injecting in Uzima.
Honorable Abdara, is Parliament funding Uzima?
We are on the issue of injecting public funds. What is the problem?
How are we injecting it in?
And it is indicated in the presentation here. What is the problem? We are injecting money in Uzima.
Yeah. Thank you.
Two, Mr. Chairman, I'm also aware that NEC started a security company. And it is nowhere anywhere here.
Private?
Yes. The way, because they always... What is happening? Because nothing is listed for it, we are not supporting it in any way, because totally it is not mentioned anywhere in the presentation. What is the problem? And lastly, And lastly, as far as ATMIS is concerned, ATMIS? We thought that by end of 2024, we are going to be forgetting about spending any money in Somalia because we are supposed to close and our forces come back. But still I'm seeing something that we are still going to be incurring expenses as far as facilitating the forces there. It is 1.7 now, 1.799. This is page.
Thank you.
Saying, Mr. Chairman, that this is a clown from Mukono posing as the MP of Mukono municipality. If what we see in the social media is anything to go by,
We closed that.
I'm so grateful that we are not arrested by now.
Honorable Chireke, we closed that.
No, I'm saying I'm so grateful
Thank you.
because Mr. Chairman, the last I saw in the social media was that you, as the leader of the clowns on this committee, are going to be arrested. And I'm saying I'm very grateful that we have not been arrested. So if you closed it, it's good, but it is, when something goes out, it is out. One time I was with General Tumukunde on CBS radio, and he made some remarks, and after those remarks, he was imprisoned for years. I don't know if this is the same UPDF and that we are still moving using the same law and the same constitution, because these days we see people make remarks in the media. And
Honorable Bachireke, Rule 199, let's restrict ourselves to the budget framework paper.
Mr. Chairman, that is within the budget because this is the army we are funding, and I want to know which laws they are using. Are they still the UPDF that is provided for under the Constitution, or this is a completely new force? So, Mr. Chairman, the people of Mukono would like to get an assurance that really UPDF is still committed to moving by the Constitution of Uganda, especially in regard to the recent behavior of its commander.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, having said that, I want to make these few observations. I want to know for sure, is Uganda at war? If I go to Mukono and I'm addressing people, should I tell them that we are at war as a country, or we are in peace times? And if we are at war, when will these wars end? Every time we look at the budget, Mr. Chairman, we are funding UPDF over and above all other priorities of the country. And that should be very clear information coming from the army about its operations. 2, Mr. Chairman, that was a time when it was reported that we were attacked in Somalia. We waited because I've seen here value expenses, whatever. We did not see UPDF converging for money and for values. I don't know what happened. Neither were we, even families. Some people don't know exactly where their children are. If your child, if your relative was deployed in Somalia, there was an attack, there was no information that came out in terms of saying that these are the names of the people who fell at the battleground in Somalia, these were the injured, nothing came out. We kept on waiting. So even the Parliament directed the minister to bring a statement on that matter. Up to now, that statement has never been issued, Mr. Chairman. And I wonder why the ministry and UPDF at that matter continue to deny this House information. 3, it's the issue of uniforms. money here is being voted for uniforms, Mr. Chairman. But even if you look here, you will see so many shades of colors. And I would like to know if we could be given at least a list of the gazetted uniforms of UPDF, especially because people have been arrested from my party, tortured, sodomized. Yes. Paraded before the court martial with a claim that they have been putting on clothes which are a preserve of the UPDF. And what are these people putting on? A red overall and a red cap. So I want to know for sure, what are the gazetted uniforms of UPDF?
Yes, that's your question.
Yes. And then, Mr. Chairman, we do travel. We visit other countries. In fact, in some countries, there's a day which they call a combat day. And not necessarily the people putting on uniform of the army, but something similar. Because, you know, the army is supposed to be a people's army. But the vindictiveness, the cruelty being displayed by UPDF against the citizens of this country for putting on clothes, you know, that appear with camouflage shades, clothes that are imported and taxed as they enter into the country, clothes that are sold at shops. Those are manufactured for civilian wear, Mr. Chairman. So I want to know, why is UPDF behaving in such a manner? Why are they becoming so too aggressive, especially against the people who dress up for political reasons, Mr. Chairman,
like
especially people coming from my party.
Okay.
And lastly, Mr. Chairman, we have people who are ready to testify, and I want UPDF to get out proper on this. People have been in the hands of the army as detainees, and they come back complaining that they were sodomized. Recently, the CDF came out and said that in fact it doesn't support even the law we made here as Parliament. So I want to know about the position of UPDF on same-sex marriage, you know, because their commander, to me, is their spokesperson.
Okay, you made your point.